Singtel announced last month 6 of the most promising social impact startups across Singapore, the Philippines, and Australia. These so-called future makers make innovative use of technology to address community needs. Now, one of them is iVolunteer, the Philippines' first volunteerism portal. It aims to spread the passion for volunteerism while facilitating partnership building among the business sector, government, and civil society. Now, here to tell us more about it is JB Tan. He's one of the iVolunteer's co-founders. JB, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, TJ.
All right, first off, congratulations on being part of the Future Makers awardees of Singapore. And, give us a bit of a background. Tell us the story of iVolunteer. How did this all begin? Looking up at your profile, apparently this has been around for 10 years, and it's just revolutionized the last few years. Tell us how this all began.
Yeah, so we started back in 2009. This was the time of Ondoy. If you recall, there were so much help that was needed, and,
yes.
and we realized that a lot of people really wanted to volunteer. One of the biggest challenge then was people didn't know where to find volunteer opportunities.
Right.
They only go to the relief centers that they see on television. But these relief centers would say, please don't come here anymore because we are already overwhelmed with volunteers. Right? But there were smaller operations out there that needed help, but people didn't know where to find them. And we were included in that, that we wanted to help, but we didn't know where to find them. So since myself and my fellow founders were IT, we said, why not put together a website that will help people find this volunteer opportunity. So that's how we started back in 2009.
Interesting. My goodness, I'm getting flashbacks of those days when even us here in the news organization, we were doing more than just news with social media, collaborating, connecting people who were donating goods and whatnot, right? And I remember how helpful that was. So beyond the website, now this is the interesting thing. I mean, a website can be a list. It can be like an address book of who to contact and what to go. But how has iVolunteer grown since then? I mean, what are you doing more, or how are you tweaking this message? How are you attracting more volunteers? How are you getting organizations to come in and share their story that they're also attractive to these volunteers who want to help out?
Yeah, so we realized since then that the challenge is bigger in the volunteerism sector, right? So as you mentioned, more than just a website, what we realized is people need to be educated. A lot of people will think about volunteerism as only for disaster, right? But there's a problem every single day out there where we need volunteers. So that's the first challenge. Second is we are trying to break the stereotype of volunteerism that it's only for the well-educated, or it's for the retired, or it's for females, or it's for students. So we're trying to educate people that they can share something regardless of their situations in life or their status, right? They have either a time, treasure, or talent that they can share to the communities.
Well, there you go. I mean, just talking about that, how you want to break those stereotypes. What's it been like? I mean, in the last few years in terms of getting different walks of life coming into volunteer, and for them to find the organizations that they feel that they can really support. I mean, before this, I can imagine most people end up volunteering through word of mouth, and they're referred by a friend or a family member. Oh, I've worked with this organization or this charity, and they're wonderful, you should go there. So how does this help give them more choices and see really when they look at your website and say, hey, I think I'd like to go to He Cares, or I'd like to go to this charity? How have you seen that help the different stereotypes walk in?
Yeah, so we started to see a lot of people helping through their interests, right? So if you go to our website, there's a lot of opportunities, or variety as we want to call it, because we wanted to for people to invest their time to where they are most passionate about. So it can be on the education sector, it can be sharing your singing or dancing skills, it can be sharing your IT or finance skills, it can be anything. So there's a lot of opportunities for people. And in the recent years, we started to see a lot of people fluctuating to the site to start signing up. And from there, there's a lot of volunteers also who have transformed to become either new NGOs or become leaders of existing NGOs.
Wow.
So the transformation that we've seen is really tremendous.
Wow.
And there's a wide range of type of people that have been volunteering now, from kids with their parents, or from to the retirees who's looking for more experience or meaning after their apos or grandchildren are big now. So there are really different types of people.
That's amazing. So you've had volunteers before who have enjoyed doing what they do, and then they've spun off and done their own full-time work as NGOs and charities as well. Amazing story. Okay, now when you present a movement and a service like this to an organization like the Future Makers, how do you convince them that you need help to get better? I mean, where's the future? What does the future hold for iVolunteer? Where are you going to go from now? How does the new funding help you do more and become, have more of an impact in the community?
Yeah, there's still a lot of opportunities. One, we're currently just present in Metro Manila, and our goal is to reach every Filipino. So there's a huge 100 million Filipinos that we're still targeting. So we need the help in terms of reach, especially with Future Maker. This will enable us. Second, with technology today, it can also accelerate how we educate people. So I think that's the strength of Singtel and Globe, where they can enable us to educate Filipinos and reach them regardless where they are in the country.
All right, and like specifically today, right now, our audience, a chunk of them are enterprises, companies, businesses who, more often than not, try to think of activities for their employees that they can do together, and they're always in the lookout for something new, something different, right? So what's your message to them in terms of connecting with you to be continuously connected to the other side, to the NGO side, to the charity side, where they can find where they can really lead their employees and have a collective impact in the community?
Yeah, especially during this time of Christmas, a lot of companies are very generous. So let's make sure that whatever you share to the communities are really meaningful for them. iVolunteer can help you find the right opportunities or communities. You can reach out to us. At the same time, I would also encourage the corporations to engage their employees to be engaged in volunteerism, because we've seen a lot of benefit, not only from a physical or a personal transformation rather, but also in terms of soft skills development, broader perspective for the employees. So, yeah.
Well, there's so much that they can do, absolutely, right? Just finding out what skills they can put out there in the world. And we want to thank you for being that medium that connects us. And congratulations once again. We wish you all the best. And for those who want to check them out, obviously, it's just iVolunteer PH. Just go to their website and you'll see, you'll find something there for sure that can suit your needs. So, JB, thank you so much for joining us, and all the best.
Thank you very much, TJ.